be involved in this. I've seen all I need to see.
I'll tell you more when we get off camera.
Does this police officer look familiar to you?
All right, if you would take a big deep breath and blow out for me.
Do it. Yeah, they're coming.
Blow out. Keep going, keep going. Hold on.
That's Officer T.J. Godby of the Danville Police Department, who I just featured for beating up and arresting an elderly dementia patient.
I'm not taking these off of you until you get into outside the jail.
What's your name? Godby. Please get it off. It hurts. It hurts my fingers.
Well, what were the chances that this was not his first time in arresting and beating an elderly dementia patient?
When you hear a phone call that your dad got beat up by cops and you see pictures afterwards and a cop admitted to you, I called him, Stimson Police Department. They connected with Mr. Officer Godby, and he confirmed that he did use force because he thought my dad was on drink or on drugs.
That jail ain't gonna take them. Not with all them injuries and all that blood.
How law enforcement involved in pursuit are currently fighting the suspect.
He's 10-15 in custody.
Stand up. Stand up. Sit up.
Copy. We've got EMS on the standby.
What is your problem, man?
I can't get up.
How much you
10-4.
drink?
I ain't very tough.
Yeah.
On September 23rd of 2021, William Good was driving to work at the Bluegrass Stockyards at around 1:30 in the morning when he was pulled over by Officer T.J. Godby, who was then with the Stanford Police Department. Like the last person I showed you that Officer Godby beat up, Mr. Good had been diagnosed with Alzheimer's. He had dementia at the time that this occurred. Godby was not wearing a body cam at the time, but this footage was obtained from the Danville Police Department, where he later worked when he arrested and beat up the other guy with dementia. And their body cam footage from the time shows some of what happened here. According to the Stanford Police Department citizen complaint that was filed by this man's son, Bill Good, his father, William Good, was apparently seen driving recklessly in the wrong lane. Officer Godby conducted a traffic stop, or attempted to, but Mr. Good, having dementia, failed to stop his vehicle, and he went on to drive another 6.6 miles. That turned into a low-speed pursuit. Heading towards Boyle County, Kentucky, Good was driving at about the speed of 40 miles per hour. Law enforcement eventually contained Mr. Good's vehicle, forcing him to stop. Good was then commanded to step out of the vehicle, and he did step out. Once out of the vehicle, according to the reports, Good and Officer Godby exchanged some words, and then Good reached back into his vehicle to get his license. They asked for his ID. Well, he went and got back into his car, and that's when all heck broke loose, explains his son Bill. The complaint reads that Officer Godby and a Lincoln County Sheriff's deputy pulled Good back from his vehicle. Good then tensed up and resisted the officers. This prompted Godby to deliver 2 knee strikes to his thigh. Godby and several other officers took him to the ground, where officers attempted to put Good's hands behind his back, but Good refused. Officer Godby then delivered 1 cycle from his taser in drive stun mode and handcuffed Good.
Can you sit up? Yeah. There, sit up for me.
That or drunk. Is everyone all right?
Yeah. Why didn't you pull over?
Huh?
Why didn't you pull over?
I was going to pull over.
The blue lights and sirens for 15 minutes? Did you notice he was on the wrong side of a U.S. highway? You're from Lincoln County.
Yep.
So you know this road.
Yep.
Nothing look odd to you?
Huh?
Nothing look odd to you?
Their report explains that Mr. Good sustained scrapes, scratches, and abrasions from the asphalt and was evaluated by the Boyle County EMS. But in photos provided to Lex 18 News by the man's son, his father is pictured with much worse injuries, with black and blue bruises all over his face and his body, and with a bandage on his arm and several cuts covering his face, hands, and arms. Bill says that his dad was not on drugs or under the influence. A breathalyzer test was conducted at the scene. We can see that on body cam, and it indicated that William's blood alcohol content was 0.
All right, if you would take a big deep breath and blow out for me.
Do it. Yeah, they're coming.
Blow out. Keep going, keep going. Hold on. It's going to be like a blow up balloon if you'll do it, all right? Give me a second for it to reset. Big breath and blow out. Blow, blow, blow. Blow. All right. Hold on. We're going to try this one more time, all right?
Negative.
Keep your breath and blow out. Blow. Blow. Not stop. Blow. All right.
Are you a diabetic? What kind of medical history do you have? No high blood pressure? Never had a heart attack? Never had a stroke? Anything like that? Do you take any medicine? What's wrong with your heart? Nitro? Okay. Are you allergic to any medicine?
In the body cam footage, the Danville police officers are heard discussing this incident, confirming that the BAC was 0.
We don't know. Yeah, I mean, he blew 0. Pupils don't look like real. They're a little bit constricted, but
They also acknowledge that Mr. Good has some pretty good injuries and that they had never worked with Officer Godby before, at least not yet.
They do all this high energy stuff, and then they just stand around and don't work it, like they're not doing anything. That's why we don't get involved in stuff like this most time.
well, I see that now. This is my first interaction with him. He blew all 0s. His pupils look pretty normal.
He's got some pretty good injuries.
I'm glad to see an officer.
Smart. It wouldn't have ended like that.
No.
There with EMS wouldn't have. He's pretty old too. He's got
Something wrong with him. Well, he's just no dementia.
Yeah. That jail ain't gonna take him. Not with all them injuries and all that blood. He'll have to get cleared. I told them to do it earlier and they didn't do it.
No, there still has not been a search of the car done.
Little did they know at the time that he'd be jumping departments and coming to work with them later so that their department also can participate in beating up and arresting an elderly man with dementia.
No, as soon as he gets loaded, we'll go back to our cruisers and someone can wait on this, not us.
Yeah, that's right. I don't want to be involved with it. I've seen all I need to see.
I'll tell you more when we get off camera.
Did you hear that? I'll tell you more when we get off camera. By the way, that was Officer Wentz with the Danville Police Department. Apparently, the investigation about this particular matter was closed on November 8th of 2021, and Officer Godby's use of force was found, quote, not unreasonable or excessive in his response to resistance displayed by Good. While there was a citizen complaint, it was found to be unfounded. Then, surprise, surprise, what happens when there's no accountability for beating up and arresting somebody who has dementia? It happens again. Godby gets hired by the Danville Police Department, and that's the same police department where these Danville officers are standing around talking about how terrible Godby's then department is. They really can't even believe what they've witnessed Godby do. What are the chances that this same guy does this twice? It's not like lightning struck twice here. Older people get dementia. This guy's just so dumb that he thinks anybody displaying symptoms like that, well, they must be intoxicated. To him, everything's a nail and he's the hammer. His power to beat up people and arrest them, that is the solution to everything to him. In my last video on this, I mentioned that there was this petition demanding the termination of Officer Godby and the suspension of the other officers involved in the incident involving Mr. Hardwick. And last time I looked and when I signed, it was somewhere around 4,000 or 5,000. As of right now, it's at over 20,000 verified signatures on the petition demanding the termination of Officer Godby. And now we find out that he had done it before. So if you haven't signed the petition yet, I'll link it below. And if you want to help, the best thing that you can do right now, other than signing this petition, is sharing this footage and keeping the word out there that not only did they do this to Mr. Hardwick, but the same officer did it to Mr. Good several years earlier. If there's no accountability for this, if nothing is done, it's going to happen again. And it could happen to somebody in your family. I'll continue to follow this one. And if you want to follow along, subscribe both here and at the blog at thecivilrightslawyer.com. Our rights don't end where your fear begins. Freedom is scary. Deal with it.